that like a woodpecker I hear? Anyways, so when it comes to Black American women, I want us to really understand the fact that, yes, when it comes to us being Black American and here in America, we understand the sisterhood. We understand, like, okay, this is my sister. I see this person as a reflection of myself. Well, when it comes to other cultures of women that are non American and even sometimes uh, Black, however, non American Black, they may view you, when they come from different parts of the world, they could view you as competition. They may view you as a threat, right? And I think it's a shock because I was just speak for myself. Growing up with my generation, we had women empowerment. We had girl groups, right? We had Destiny's Child, Spice Girls, TLC, En Vogue, Escape, all of these different girl groups that was supposed to represent girlhood. But we also had the other side to that too, where we got a glimpse to see how dark it can also be when it comes to beauty, competition. We had Jawbreaker, Poison Ivy, Mean Girls, stuff like that, right? So, yes, it's like there's a beautiful side to it, but then you have to also acknowledge there's an opposite side. And I wanted to also bring a little bit of spirituality into this. When you have women who is underneath a patriarchy, which I believe that you can still practice goddess spirituality, they're not taught to love themselves. They're taught to position themselves to win over a man. And so, yes, you're going to have competition when it comes to women. And I'm glad that in 2025, 2026, a lot of women are being honest about that and saying, you know what, this is how I really feel. It's like, okay, when the conversation comes to pretty privilege, you hear a lot of women talking about pretty punishment, but it's like, oh, I thought your sisters, other pretty women will have your back, because they try to position it as, just like how they did back in the day. They try to position it as, oh, the popular girls are the pretty girls, the cheerleaders, dot dot dot, versus the other girls. But in reality, in those positions, you guys are actually fighting amongst each other. You're jealous of each other, and then, like I said, in 2025, a lot of the girls who are complaining about, um, you know, competition and, pretty punishment, it's coming from other beautiful women, because they try to position the quote unquote unattractive woman as to be a part of this cattiness. How? When you guys have excluded her. So how is she a part of? Because I seen one video of a lady and she was saying how unattractive women will, I guess, if she's working at a place, she will not hire a pretty woman. But if you're a pretty girl, I thought that other pretty girls are going to, hire you. I mean, but anyways, like I was saying, and being a black woman, you might experience this from like a different level. Like, okay, people may look at you and say, okay, she's not a threat. Why is she not a threat? Because she is uplifting everybody, or because she's like everyone's cheerleader, right? So that's another way to kind of look into this particular type of energy as a black woman. Or is it, well, I don't really see her as a threat because she's not that attractive? Or because you do have some women who will surround themselves with women that they deem that is not attractive until a man walks into the room and pay that other woman some attention. Now it's like, oh, and again, this is all underneath patriarchy. Whereas when you have spirituality comes into the mix, being a goddess, understanding how goddesses would live and love themselves, a lot of women didn't grow up like that, but they will sisterhood everything until they can't no more. And I think that they can't do that anymore. So when you have women that come from other parts of the world and they're viewing black women as a threat, you're shocked because you're like, well, wait a minute, I see my fellow Black American women as sisters. I don't look at them like that. And so that can also be extended to you. But I believe that that's a very dangerous way of seeing these women, you know. So even though you might be affected by racism, featureism, colorism, intersectionality, all of these different isms, you're still going to have women to say things like, well, at least I'm not dealing with that over there. Well, at least I'm not dealing with this over here. And this is where the disconnect comes from. So, since everyone is being honest, okay, I feel that whatever makes you you and makes you unique, then exalt that. So let's say if you're a beautiful dark skinned woman who has a beautiful figure, right? You're more model esque, then you should flaunt that. If you are a Black woman and you have long, beautiful hair, flaunt that, right? If you are a Black woman and you have beautiful features, flaunt that. And it doesn't take away from anyone else, but you're like, well, I'm going to play the game too. I'm not going to all sisterhood and all womanhood, and you are viewing me as a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? No. So, wait, you want me to see myself as less than, but then uplift you? Why would I do that? Unless you guys are doing it with each other. Like, okay, I uplift you, you uplift me, but we're not going to sit up and continue to lie and pretend. Why would we do that? I'm just saying. And let me just reference Chrissy again. She's really good when she is stating a lot of these facts, especially when it comes to dark skinned Black women. You should always uplift yourself and put yourself first, right? And even if you're in a space with other people, put yourself first. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And one thing I've noticed when it comes to Black women, a lot of people like to gaslight Black women and say, well, it's not because you're Black, it's because of this or because of that. No. You being a Black woman is a threat. And people will view you as such. You might just be minding your business and saying, you know what, I'm just going to live my life and do what I want to do. People will see you as a threat. And let's just say, even if you're not in those spaces because you don't want to be, it's like, what I feel with some people is like they need you to be in a space so that way they can try to position you to be seen as a threat. So they will invite you out to certain spaces, they will include you into certain things, and you might not even care to be included. You might not even want to be involved. But it's like they need for you to behave in a certain way. And when you don't, that makes people really upset, I see. Sort of like when you're very beautiful, you're going to carry yourself in a beautiful way. Not to say that people who are quote unquote unattractive don't carry themselves well, because they do. From their money, their status, their fashions, like, let's be clear, it's not just about the beauty. Is that a big part of it? Okay, but there's other things that you can work with. So yeah, what I would say is people just need to stop being so insecure. Yes, I don't believe that you will ever have the same love that a Black woman would have for herself, because you have to be coddled because you're kind of pathetic. So people have to make you feel good for being mediocre. I get it, but that's not our experience. So we're going to always be great, magical, and it is what it is.